There were certain people that said that through media, that the team that wins the grand final ain't necessarily the best team throughout the year, and so you know we'd missed out on winning the 2 rounds by 1 point. So there's an opportunity on Friday to play in a game that is a good chance of jumping ahead with 1 game to go and trying to win the championships, and it's become a goal of ours now.
The grand final is in the end that's the one you want to win, but again it's a small step in the big picture as far as, you know, to say you've done base. I think really it would cap the season off for St Helens, and we've got a little bit more work to do than what they have, I suppose, in that we need to win base games to be assured of that. Where Leeds, I think, would probably only just need to win the 1 game, and they'd be assured of that given the for and against.
We're gonna shout to the top, shout. Ooh, we're gonna shout to the top, shout.
Leeds have probably got a little bit of improvement in them, and given that they are going pretty well, and I know our players have got improvement in them, and Friday night it'll be fantastic to see, you know, where both teams are at. But again, there's still a few games to go to see if you can get better later on.
It's going to be a cracking game. It's 2 clubs that have traditionally played very well against one another. They've been quality games, and there's always a lot of excitement. It's going to be a full house apparently, so it's going to be a terrific atmosphere. And yeah, it all points to a classic match.
The top 2 will provide another Friday night thriller from the Engage Super League. In 2007-2008, these 2 competed the grand final. In 2009, 2 games remain in the regular season. Whoever wins here will take the league leader's shield. Leeds line up with Webb, Donald, Smith, Senior and Hall, Maguire and Burrow. Forwards, Luluai, Diskin, Peacock, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Ablett and Sinfield, who's the captain. And the bench is occupied by Lautiti, Bailey, Kirk and Burgess, the land of the giants for coach Brian McLennan. For the Saints, it's Wellens, Gardner, Gidley, Eastmond and Melly, Price and Long. Graham, Cunningham the skipper, Pulatuya, Gilmore, Flannery and Wilkin up front. Wilkin a big surprise with Roby, Hargreaves, Clough and Farsavalu, and the coach is Mick Potter. Lovely night. It's a little cool. It's the first whiff of autumn, but absolutely perfect for this top-of-the-table clash. And St Helens, they've topped the table in each of the last 4 years. The champions only once in that period, and they are probably underdogs as Kieran Cunningham leads them onto the pitch right now. Warrington and Huddersfield at Wembley last week to break the mould, but the odds are in favour of a 3rd grand final in a row between Leeds and St Helens. And the Rhinos aiming to finish top for the first time since 2004. But whatever happens in the next 2 weeks, these 2 will finish 1st and 2nd for the 3rd year in a row. It's a cracking atmosphere. Leeds head St Helens at the top by virtue of a better points difference, just 51 points. They've both won 19 and they've lost 6 of their 25 rounds so far. The Rhinos champions the last 2 years, but Brian McLennan has told us, and he's told you, he wants the kudos of finishing top after the weekly rounds this year. He's a bit upset that some people have questioned their title because they didn't finish top at the end of last year's regular season. Phil Bentham is the match referee, dressed in white, and St Helens, dressed in green, will get this game underway. They will attack from left to right with their supporters at their backs. Should be an absolute cracker, this. And Paul Wellens waits for the man in the middle, Phil Bentham, to blow the whistle. Off we go, and a very, very important 80 minutes lies ahead of us. Diskin will run the ball back on the first tackle, and the Saints' chase was led by Tony Pulatua.
Tremendous atmosphere, you can just feel it, and you can tell that St Helens, they really want to mix it up against his lead forward very quickly indeed. We know that Saints have been off the ball slightly, but I think the fortnight stretch certainly would have helped them. They look fatigued a fortnight ago against Huddersfield, but they look up for it tonight, don't they?
They do, and I must say that the Leeds Rhinos in their pre-match preparation, the tackle bags were out, and boy, were they running hard. It was a vigorous warm-up session for the Rhinos. They've reached the last tackle. Maguire with the kick that will hang in the breeze, and Francis Mellier's underneath it. And here comes St Helens with the first attack from them.
Pretty good kick and chase. Was expected, of course, at Leeds. The coach, Brian McLennan, would pick for the tactics of making sure that Paul Wellens, the full-back, had plenty to do tonight. Trying to tire those legs.
Pulatua again for St Helens. The New Zealand international, the Samoan international. He's played the last 17 games and was awesome in the win at Castleford. Graham gets the ball inside. He's clattered after the ball had gone. But talking of clattering, Kevin Sinfield came in very quickly on John Wilkin, and that ball was touched by the foot, says Phil Benton. It's play on. So here's Pulatua again.
A little bit shoddy in around the play the ball area. They've got to be a little bit smarter than that. Lucky to get away with it.
Saints running it on the last with Long. He's jinked inside too. The ball goes over the top and on the bounce to Cunningham. He finds Graham. Graham hacks the ball over the top. And that ball will skip its way over the dead ball line. They just lost the plot a little bit there, St Helens.
They certainly did. It was good work by Sean Long, but there was no one in support there. And it was really just forced to the prop forward, James Graham, to get away. A panic kick. It has been their problem for many, many weeks, the Saints. They really haven't been talking to each other as a unit.
This is Lee Smith for the Leeds Rhinos. 97th appearance for the club. Needs 3 tries for 50. Knock on.
Bad error there by the centre, Lee Smith. Should have got on with the job of actually playing the ball instead of just pushing away, and you can see he lost control of it. First golden opportunity for Saints. They really need to build their confidence. A quick try certainly will do that, and he knows it, as Brian McLennan. He knows that Saints have got so much power out there.
Eastmond, a little run trying to go through the gap from Kyle Eastmond, halted by Kevin Sinfield. Kieran Cunningham at dummy half. This now is Flannery. Senior was there quickly, and Luluai. It's Cunningham. Cunningham fires the pass to Sean Long. Long gets the ball away. That bounced off the chest. And referee has seen a knock on, but by whom?
Well, I think it hit Maguire right in the chest. I don't think he went for the football. Wasn't the best pass there. Or did he touch the arm?
He played at it, Danny Maguire.
Okay. Yeah, it came on the chest. This should be head and feet for the Saints.
And it is. Sean Long will feed the scrum here in a moment. Long, of course, off to Hull in 2010. Cunningham from the back of the scrum gives it to Eastman. This is Price. Here is Gidley taking on Burrow. Runs over the top of Burrow. Bounces off Ryan Hall. Reinforcements are there for the Leeds Rhinos. Gardner pointing the direction at dummy half. Will wait as the ball is played to him. Here is Leon Price. Price back on the inside to Flannery. That's the second tackle. Cunningham quickly in at dummy half. Gives it to Graham. Graham then on to Long. Long looking very busy. Whoa, possible interception. But knocked back into the arms of Lee Smith. And Lee Smith will hack the ball forward. Looking for Danny Maguire off the knee. Maguire, great chase back. Wonderful chase back by Wellens.
Unbelievable, and how have they got numbers there? Charlie Price is offside.
He's in the sin bin, Leon Price.
Professional foul, well done, Phil Benton, the official. But what a wonderful effort by Paul Wellens. Leon Price gets 10 minutes in the bin. The Saints are down to 12 men already. But what on earth, how on earth should I say, did Paul Wellens get the speed to get back? It was a shocking pass, the second bad pass from Sean Long. The power is from Leeds now.
Luluai in possession. This is Diskin. Here is Maguire. Drops the shoulder, goes inside. Gilmore.
Just got a hand to him, Gilmore. Just put him off balance. It was sufficient to stop it.
Wellens to the rescue again. Sinfield finds Burrow. Burrow shows it to Jamie Jones. Here is senior towards St Helens defence. St Helens now with 12 men. First man this year in the sin bin for Saints is Leon Price. Peacock to Diskin. Diskin to Sinfield. Quick pass. Finds Maguire. They've got the overlap wide. Here is Lee Smith. There is Scott Donald. Question mark over this. Question mark over this try. Was it a foot in touch? Did he get the ball down before he hit the corner post? All decisions that Steve Ganson, tonight's video referee, will have to make.
I think he just gets it down before the knee hits. No, it's touched it. This will be NOT away on this occasion. The right blue boot just went right on the whitewash there. Great positioning by the touch judge. But full credit to Phil Bentham. This will be wiped off. He's gone to Steve Ganson, the video ref, tonight. And this will be disappointment for the Rhino fans.
The try is chalked off. There was a foot in touch. Scott Donald denied what had been his 10th try-scoring appearance in a row.
It was a break there. It was a bad pass there from Long.
Wasn't it a knock-on from Donald when he goes forward from Donald onto the Saints player?
Well, it certainly touches him, Phil. I have to agree with that. But obviously, Phil Bentham thought that it was off the shoulder rather than off the forearm or the hands. Either way, Saints will be breathing a huge sigh of relief.
Polituia will drive the ball forward. There were 4 players briefly around him then.
Well, here's the hand. I think that's clearly off the hand or arm. Forearm, it's certainly forward. He played at the ball. Anyway, you're right, you look in this game. There won't be time to stop and look again. Here's Cunningham through the hole.
It's incredible the fact that as a result of that play that was allowed to go on, Leon Price ends up in the sin bin. St Helens will feel that they've been a little bit hard done by. This is Graham. Here is Long. Long gets the ball wide to Gilmore. And Gilmore is dumped to the ground.
Well, there's even more pressure now on Sean Long because of Price's absence from the field. He'll have to do more of the passing, more of the kicking. He tends to run the clock down here by putting it out of play. But in fact, the biggest difference probably between these two sides in recent weeks has been their passing accuracy. Leeds are able to pass the ball accurately, as we see Long kick to touch, and then have players moving at pace. It's a lethal combination. Here's the Price being sin-bin, comes back and collides with Donald. I think Paul Whelan's probably had him covered anyway, but they're down to 12.
Well, we said before the match, Tony Smith, that we expected fireworks. I think we're not going to be disappointed.
No, it's been action-packed so far. Just on that point, Phil, they've got Kyle Oosman out there as well, and he's operating in a standoff type position, and they've put Wellens out to attack on the left centre, and that's how they started the game. So I was wondering how the 3 halfbacks were going to operate. So I don't know if they'll miss a number, but I don't know if they'll miss a halfback.
Here come the Rhinos in the shape of Brent Webb. 5 tries in his last 2 games, Brent Webb, as Leeds have been on fire as they've taken over the top spot from St Helens. 27 tries they've run in the last 2 games.
Well, it looked for all the world, didn't it, when Smith made that clean break, but Wellens got back in time, and I must say that they looked jaded a fortnight ago, Saints, but they certainly enjoyed that break. They're looking pretty hot, but so are Leeds at the moment.
And it's down the line from Lee Smith again, but the ball beats everybody.
Tremendous tactics, though. Unbelievable stuff here. He realised that it was a cul-de-sac, nowhere to go from there, and just keep it through. They can apply the pressure now with their defence, try to force the error.
If you're dropping onto the tackle player, just get the time.
Lee Smith, he will depart for pastures new.
Yeah, there's one in already.
Not
next
happy.
year. Unhappy with the kick, but it was inventive, wasn't it?
But they're going to be adventurous against the top sides, and we'll see that from both outfits tonight.
St Helens a bit anxious maybe. Defeat and a failure to top the table would leave them looking at the possibility, that's all, of finishing without a trophy for the first time in 6 years. They'd have to win the grand final to extend their sequence of 6 seasons in a row in which they picked up silverware.
Well, sometimes old habits are hard to get rid of, aren't they? And it has been a problem early in the season for the Rhinos, giving away silly penalties after all that pressure, the good kick and chase, and what do? they find themselves way back downfield.
Graham will drive the ball in for St Helens, halted though by Jones Buchanan and Senior.
Well,
a lot of wrestling on the ground.
Not only that, that looks very, very much like a chicken wing tackle to me.
And Graham's in a lot of trouble here.
Well, I don't know whether it's just play acting, but look at this. That is force against the arm, and that should be looked at after the match. That's got to be a chicken wing. Look at that. I mean, Graham nearly has his shoulder pull out.
He's still out there, though, Graham. Long picks that up off his toes. Here is Eastman.
Great work
by Maguire.
Great work by the stand-up Danny Maguire. Realised there's going to be a dummy runner. He came in on the angle. Boy, these two sides are really up for this one. Not surprisingly, they are the two best in the side in the competition so far.
Well, they are by league standings, top and second. Great ball! Graham finds Gilmore, and Gilmore will go. No, yes, he will. Yes, he will. The momentum's taking him home, I think.
This will be given. Ball-carrying arm did not touch the deck as far as I'm concerned. I'm not the video referee. That's in the hands of Steve Ganson. How many times has he done this over the years for St Helens? After so much defence, is he still moving? It touches the ground before this. Oh, this is a difficult decision.
It's a try.
I'd give it.
There's no doubt that's a try.
Well, if it is given, it's Lee Gilmore's 100th career try, and what a night to claim that milestone.
He does it so often, this fella. Just pops out wide, irrespective of whether he's playing in the centre, obviously, or as a second row tonight. And I'm with Phil Clark. I think this will be given.
Looks like momentum's taking him home. Steve Ganson agrees. The try is given. St Helens hit the front. The man who will be at Huddersfield in 2010. He's got 7 tries against Leeds prior to tonight, so it's 8 out of the 100 against Leeds for either Wigan, Bradford or this St Helens team.
Just shows you they got the penalty, got them upfield. Beautiful pass, wasn't it, there by the big fella, James Graham. Momentum gets over. Wonderful stuff. Lee Gilmore comes on the angle. He comes away from his opposite, which was Lee Smith in the centres. That is a great effort.
Great try from Gilmore, 31 years of age, a Great Britain international, played for Scotland in the 2000 World Cup, but I bet he's putting his hand up for England this year. And Kyle Eastman then, he's got a great record with the boot this year, 76% success rate, and he's added another here. St Helens are ahead by 6 points to 0 in this shootout for the League Leaders Shield in 2009. Great start to the game.
If it's a good pass and you come on the angle, it's very difficult to stop. Look how it comes through there. Smith had no chance. Put on the afterburner, bang, straight in.
Judge has reported a possible chicken wing tackle, so it's going on report. OK, it's Jamie Jones. Jamie Jones
Buchanan is going on report for a possible chicken wing tackle.
Going on report, OK, for a potential chicken wing in the tackle by you. OK, it's going on report anyway.
I think, Eddie, the insignificant thing here is if you sting a bumblebee, he'll very often come back to sting you very quickly. If you annoy one here like they have done here, just look what James Graham did 35 seconds after this. In agony, twisted over on his back, got up and put the pass on to set Gilmore for a try. That's why he was voted the Man of Steel last year, and is why he's still one of the best players in this competition.
Absolutely. Great effort from James Graham. Beautiful ball for Gilmore, but it really did need scoring, and the momentum takes him home. I know what you're saying about the bees, Phil. I think you might have meant a wasp. Don't bees snuff it once they've stung you?
Well, possibly so. It might have been a wasp then. But don't annoy James Graham's a lesson, I would say, to him and hold him down and try and clamp the ball. But you bend his arm behind his back and you could be in trouble.
Well, he's annoyed, James Graham, that is for sure. Still 0-0 at Wigan. Here, 6-0 to the Saints.
Once he's down, don't push him. Waits.
Well, the fact that Saints have a man in the sin bin and they're really bossing it, they were very, very happy with that, controlling it. They're in no rush.
Leon's just made it back onto the field, so you know, they'll be pretty delighted to be a man down and go ahead. That's just a big turnaround for them.
Yeah, it's a big boost for them, but that kick wasn't the best from Lee Gilmore. He finds Brent Webb.
Pretty solid defence, though, Eddie. What they're doing is St Helens. A few weeks ago, they were coming out of the line. Some of them are staying back, but they're going as a unit. They're making sure that Leeds have got no space at all to work in.
Ryan Hall plays the ball to Diskin. Here is Sinfield. Now it's Luluai.
Move! Hold! Go! Straight off shot!
Diskin, Burrow. Good hit there in the tackle by Gilmore and Wilkin on Carl Ablett. Peacock trying to go through the gap, clawed to the ground by Wilkin. Last tackle. Burrow will just kick it down the middle, and Wellens will run it back from his own goal line here.
Well, I must say that wasn't the best chase. The kick was good. There was only little Rob Burrow there. Well, they're running out of steam early, this Rhinos outfit. The shock of giving away the 6 points.
Melly drives it forward once again. You can almost feel the match has risen in intensity in the opening 14.5 minutes here, and we're still a fortnight away from the playoffs when, well, the electricity will be crackling out there on the field. This is Pulatua. Great run from him.
Great strength in the legs there. Leeds, they're falling off a little bit. Some of their passing's not good. What's that forward? That certainly looked it, the last one. Either way, the official at 3 to have a look at.
It's the turnover.
It's the third time, isn't it, in 15 minutes that they've run the ball on the last tackle. They're prepared to try that, whether that's for the full 80 minutes, whether that's to try and deceive them should they meet again in the playoffs or grand final. But clearly a policy, a tactical ploy in the first 15 minutes. Run the ball and let's see what effect that has.
We're watching the best home record on the line here in Super League against St Helens, who boast the best away record in Super League. So something's got to give tonight. It's Maguire. Peacock, they were on him in a flash, and he's lost the ball there.
That'll be possession to St Helens.
Peacock says the ball was stolen from him. Cunningham to Eastman.
First. Move!
I think he just lost control of it.
Right on the move.
That was the view of Phil Bentham as well. Here is Chris Flannery now for the Saints.
2. Move! And wait.
He'll play the ball here to Cunningham, who finds Long. Long then gives it to Eastman. Oh, that could have been an obstruction, and is.
Yeah, gave himself up there. And Gilmore not happy, saying, listen, if you're going to run, go for it. Yeah, Wilkins certainly went through, and so did Gilmore. Went round the back and gave himself up there. Well, it's a relieving penalty that the Rhinos certainly needed.
Here's Ablett, now Luluai. Graham and Cunningham in there quickly. So too the big Kiwi Pulatua. Here now is Peacock. That's a great run.
Tremendous work by the big fella. We haven't seen many runs from Diskin from dummy half. No, we haven't seen many from Saints either.
Here is Senior now. Gets away from Eastman. Can't get away from Gidley and Wilkin. Webb. Jamie Jones. Good hit by Kieran Cunningham. Fourth tackle. Webb finds Burrow. Here is Sinfield. There's the pass to Peacock. Saints working overtime in defence. It was Burgess actually who made the run, and James Graham has got the ball back.
Tremendous take there. Just put the right arm on, say, come to daddy, that's it. Oh, it's good work by the winger. That's what you like to see, but Graham is on form, isn't he?
He is, but he's struggling at the moment in back play, just having a moment or two to catch his breath, taking a drink. Long now for St Helens. Cunningham to Eastman to Flannery. Burrow gets him low down. Flannery, Gidley rather. Good run, up to halfway.
Interesting to see if Saints change their tactics, go for the kick and chase. Here it comes.
Eastman with the kick, but On the bounce to Webb, chases a bit scratchy, so Donald.
First.
James Graham is just loitering with intent behind the line at the moment, now joined in, but he's feeling the pinch at the moment, and Leeds have spotted that.
Move. Go.
Again, pretty good defence, you know. They're forcing Leeds into virtually one-out football.
Diskin to Ablett. Oh, he gets the ball away, but only to Wilkin. Here's Pulatua. Pulatua stands, thought about the offload, will take the tackle.
Move. And hold. Wait.
Well, not the best by the second row, Carl Ablett there. Just getting a little bit panicky. Saints will be quite happy, utilise the forwards, just getting to a good position. They know they've got the quality, especially with Sean Long with a kick.
Eastman. Oh, great little run from Eastman, but Webb just snares in for Leeds. And the touch judge is on, he's seen something. Flannery took a tumble in back play.
Brent Webb grapple tackle. OK, Brent.
It's a grapple tackle.
Yeah, right in the face. No doubt about it.
Okay,
Brent Webb and Leeds. They're falling for the fact of giving away silly penalties.
Go.
You can't afford to do that. Give so much possession to a team like Saints.
First.
Yes, their penalty count against them has been a major concern this year. And it is here tonight as Eastman again finds Gidley. Down he goes under pressure from Burrow. Gardner's the dummy half. Gardner will go down the short side. Strength from Gardner. Is he over? No, he's short, says Phil Bentham.
Good job that Senior got underneath him.
Eastman again looking very busy. This is Graham. Here's Long. Long to Price. Price out wide. They go to Melly. Melly taking on Donald. Melly still. Good effort from Francis Melly. They hold him out though. Still a couple of tackles left here for St Helens. It's Wellens. Now it's Price. Here is Long. Long gives it to Wilkin. He goes down on the last.
Go.
Price. Long. Dink over the top looking for Gidley. Gidley back to Gardner. Gardner loses it. It's picked up by Ryan Hall. Hall, well, Eastman did enough.
Did he ever? Got back. Gidley tried to knock it back there for Gardner, but oh, tremendous work.
Burrow on the charge down the wing. It's Burrow against 5 defenders.
And no support from Leeds. There were 4 St Helens players got back defensively, but where was the Rhinos?
They're here now with Burgess, Diskin and Maguire. Peacock back to Maguire, shows it to Sinfield, goes round Long. That was knocked back. It's going to be back to 0, the tackle count. Sinfield, I think, would settle for a scrum. Well, he's given the 0 tackle.
I can't believe that when Burrow made that break, that there was no one in support. OK, it was sheer quality and skill that got him through in the first place. But Brian McLennan will be very upset with that.
This is Brent Webb on the inside to Burgess again. They're inching ever closer to the St Helens line of the champions. It's Diskin. Pops it up to Maguire. Maguire over the top. And on the bounce untidily to Ryan Hall, Super League's top try scorer. And oh, he was nearly through. He gets the ball away. Diskin hangs onto it brilliantly. Here is Peacock. And Peacock still. Peacock still. Diskin waits. Ball is not saved again.
Knock on, they'll put the scrum down. Head and feet to the Rhinos. But St Helens have survived yet again.
Well, this is pressure for St Helens to handle. If you have a look at James Graham now, he's really struggling. You know, he's done a tremendous amount of work. Rob Burrow has just been outstanding on that break. You know, he's so dangerous there, and you're right there. Unusual for Leeds not to have support on the inside, usually Brent Webb or Denny Maguire, but enormous pressure again.
Indeed so. Here is Webb, gives it to Senior. Senior shrugs off Gardner, keeps going. Senior, he had little Kyle Eastman hanging onto his ankles. Webb again, finds Sinfield, short ball, Burgess. Well, they are camped on that St Helens line. Saints keeping them out so far. Maguire pops it up, Ablett on the diagonal. Another good tackle, Wilkin and Graham. Diskin quickly from dummy half. finds Burrow. Burrow jinks inside them. Again, they keep him out. Ablett this time. Ablett's going himself. Plunks the ball down and has scored, Carl Ablett. All the pressure on the St Helens line tells in the end. Carl Ablett back in the side. He missed the game against the Celtic Crusaders 2 weeks ago, and it cost him his ever-present record. He was on loan at London 4 years ago, and here he is now with a vital try for the Leeds Rhinos.
Under so much pressure, Leon Price got the hand to it, went back to it. They were struggling all the time. Through the dummy, they had the numbers. They should have stopped him. They really should have stopped him. A lot of the St Helens players, they're just standing around, which is not surprising with the amount of effort that the Rhinos have been throwing the ball around, made the break. Remember, Rob Barrow got them into that good position. But it looked for a moment there that the Saints' defence, once again, was going to hang on. It wasn't to be. Good individual effort there by Carl Ablett. This is a pressure kick from Sinfield.
It is, and the man who heads the Super League goals and points charts, who's aiming to become the first player to top the goal charts in Super League 3 years in a row, Kevin Sinfield. He lines up this conversion attempt. Never takes it back very deep, Kevin Sinfield. Bit of a breeze blowing, it's just fallen off the kicking tee. He got 10 goals against Castleford. He got 8 against Celtic. He's got 104 two-pointers for the year, plus a drop goal. And as I say, if he continues in that vein, he has the chance of becoming the first player to top the charts 3 years in a row. The Leeds captain, Kevin Sinfield, then to level the scores. Doesn't make any mistake. It's 6 apiece at Headingley. Leeds and Saints, the top 2, and nothing between them.
Well, so many breaks by the Rhinos, and you were just beginning to wonder, perhaps, whether it wasn't going to be their night. He was thinking, Brian McLennan, so many opportunities. Full credit to Saints, they've got back in numbers. So many breaks.
Frantic, hectic, use whatever adjective you like. Bill.
Yeah, and the man at the centre of most of that franticness and the hectic play, James Graham, has deservedly earned himself a breather. He's sitting on the sidelines, and I think the Saints physio team just checking in disbelief to make sure he's all in one piece after his involvement in some of the hairiest moments of the game so far. He really has put himself about. There's just a little nick on his cheek, and that's really the only evidence you can see of the bruising confrontations he's been involved in. In his place comes Maury Fasavalu, back in action for Saints after a 5-game absence. That left forearm really heavily strapped after the break he suffered.
I think the try eventually for Ablett came as a certain element of fatigue. It was the 10th consecutive play of the ball that Leeds had in possession close to St Helens try line. Eventually, Ablett, with his strength and skill, got over. If you had the 4 more tackles, you started to see St Helens over the last 2 or 3 minutes have had to do a larger amount of defensive work than Leeds, and it'll be a test here now where they can cope.
Well, this is the last tackle. Oops, that's been knocked forward. It's a knock-on, first knock-on. Who is the first knock-on by? Leeds are claiming it was St Helens who gave the first knock-on, and the referee agrees. Got Long.
Well, they've claimed Long's just got a fingertip to it.
Come on, Sean.
That's a big call, but,
It's a fingertip.
you know, they tell you even at school level, don't throw the ball when you've got your back to the opposition, and that's what Maguire virtually did, and put them under a lot of pressure. They're looking to get away with this.
Senior has hit that ball at pace, but Gidley and Flannery pulled him down. That's a quick play, the ball, though. Here goes Peacock again. Webb was sniffing on Peacock's shoulder there.
Good work by Flannery again, getting to a lot of work in defence.
Sinfield, back it goes to Burrow. Short ball then to the try-scorer, Ablett. Diskin waits once again at dummy half for the champions. Here is Sinfield, bounces off Fasavalu, floats a long pass to Senior. Senior, though, under pressure from Gardner, gets it away to Ryan Hall. Hall taking on Eastman, did brilliantly, but so too did Ryan Hall.
Boy, that was very close indeed. He just got it away. Good work by the touch judge. Bit of a grapple tackle there from Flannery. Local crowd don't like it.
Webb down the line, and
too strong.
is it too big? Yes.
That's 22 play the balls at it before St Helens have touched the ball. That's a major amount of work. Half an hour gone at Wigan, still 0-0.
Indeed. Francis Melly. 9 tries in his last 10 matches, including the match winner against Huddersfield 2 weeks ago for Francis Melly, by the way.
He's working hard as well, doing some of the forwards work. You certainly need it with Graham off the field of play.
Fasivalou back after missing the last 6. Here is Hargreaves on the inside of Roby, but it went instead to Fasivalou. And that's the 4th tackle. St Helens gaining ground down the middle with Roby here. Now Long takes over. Long gets away from one, can't get away from Burgess, loses the ball. Knock on, straight down to Bill.
Eddie, stand by for some more fireworks, because coming onto the field for Leeds Rhinos is Ali Lawatiti and Ryan Bailey. Maury Fasivalou has just entered the fray for Saints. When those two came up against each other at Knowsley Road, Leeds against Saints, earlier in the season, there were real fireworks, and one challenge in particular between Bailey and Fasivalou angered the Saints, so I think there could be a few more fireworks.
She could indeed, and I think there's a little bit of angst from Sean Long, because he believes here that his hair has been pulled.
It has. Luke Burgess is the culprit.
You've seen a bit of that lately. Earl Crabtree got his ponytail pulled, didn't he, a fortnight ago?
It's shocking.
And Semi Tajilala, I think, was fined by the RFL.
Certainly wouldn't happen to you, Steve, would it?
I was waiting for that, Tony, but it's schoolboy stuff and we don't need it in our game.
Maguire to Jones Buchanan. Wrestled to the ground by Price and Wilkin. I must say it looks as though the floating bone or cartilage or whatever it is in his knee is not causing him any problems at the moment. He was very keen to play, John Wilkin. Sinfield with a measured kick down the line. Scott Donald is herring after this, but it beats both him and Melly over the sideline.
That's the first time that we've seen Kevin Sinfield real take control out there. You can see the backspin on the ball. It nearly got away with it as well. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Francis Melly.
This is a quality contest, Tony Smith.
Sure is, yeah. It's a real arm wrestle, as they say, but an exciting one, isn't it? It's gone from end to end, and you know, I will say, the kicking game of Sean Long hasn't really come in yet. You know, I think you know, Leeds have dominated a little bit in that area, but if Sean Long can get his kicking game going, it might even things up a little bit.
Half an hour gone, 10 to half-time, 6-all. Here is Hargreaves for St Helens, aiming for a 5th league leaders shield in a row.
We're talking of the kicking game. When St Helens won here early this season in the Challenge Cup, they actually did part of it on the back of 2 40-20 kicks. They're in that sort of territory here now. The pitch is in perfect condition, perhaps a little soft though for the ball to bounce on quickly.
It's Fasivalou again. Good harassing in defence by Leeds inside the St Helens half.
And a lot tighter as well around the play the ball area, but yet to say that we've got 2 quality hookers out there in Matt Diskin and Kieran Cunningham and Roby, of course, is the fact that we haven't seen much running from dummy half. Rather strange tactics.
Well, the first kick, real kick from Long, rolled straight into the arms of Brent Webb, who steps over Long and plays the ball, and here is Scott Donald.
Stand, 2, go.
Here's Diskin. Now Bailey.
Third.
They're on halfway, Leeds. 3 tackles left, this set of 6. Sinfield. Burrow. Webb. Senior. Senior does well. Offloads the ball to Ali Lawatiti. Takes on Roby and Fasivalou. And Wigan have finally got over the line against Hull FC. Here is Burgess. Gets the ball away off the feet. Play on. And Lawatiti and Wilkin collide.
Well, I'm not so sure Brian McLennan, the Leeds coach, would have been happy there with the way that Burgess just lunged to try to get that ball away. They really should have waited until the last got the kick away, make sure he shakes his head. I'm not surprised, because they've got to just get into a good position, force St Helens back time and time again. And you can see now, early in the tackle count, they're over the halfway line.
They are. And Long thought about a little offload then, but then thought better of it. Roby. Eastman, Flannery, away from Bailey, not away from Burgess. Only Jason Kalis and Danny Badiris really missing for these two tonight. High kick here from Long. That's meant that Webb has to retreat and claims it brilliantly.
He had to as well because he knew he was out of position. He was running back. He wouldn't have felt confident on that, but as Eddie has mentioned, it was a tremendous take, running away from the way that the ball was going.
Senior running laterally. Well, 50-50, isn't it, in terms of possession? No way through for Bailey. Level pegging where it matters on the scoreboard as well, as Luluai takes it forward. That's the last, though. Great set of defence here from St Helens. Now, Sinfield with the kick. Bounces nicely for Gardner, who will run it back.
First, move, holds, go.
Roby, Wellens. Nearly through.
Move, go.
Roby again. Gets it away on that occasion to Paul Clough on the side, the unsung hero in the St Helens team, the only man to have figured in all 30 games now this year, Paul Clough. Here is Long. Long saw a gap. Bailey managed to get to him. Hull have taken the lead at Wigan. Here goes Roby as St Helens look to take their lead at Headingley. On the last tackle, they're camped underneath the Leeds posts. Eastman, Long to Price. Price, back on the inside, straight into the arms of Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and Leeds will begin the counter with Diskin.
Well, for one moment there, you would think it was touch football. Back on the inside, I've got it, you can have it, you can have it. Oh, they've given away a silly penalty.
Holding down at the play of the ball. A relieving penalty for Leeds, this.
Yeah, Clough certainly had the arm and then had a second go at him. So frustrating.
Only 5 penalties in the match so far. 3-2 in Leeds' favour. Leeds have had 3, Saints 2.
Yeah, both of them are, they've relieved pressure for each other on a few occasions. One of the reasons I think they haven't run from dummy half a lot there, Steve-O, the marker play from both teams has been very good. They're both really on their mettle there. Both sets of teams have got really good dummy half runners, and they're really up for it there tonight. You've got to be, particularly with Roby in the form that he's able to produce. Matty Diskin's just looking a little bit tired at the moment. He probably needs that rest from another hooker there.
Ryan Hall, meanwhile, for Leeds, they just lost the momentum a bit there. Ball went to ground. Webb and Lautiti. Good run from Lautiti, still going and halted by Clough and Hargreaves. Here's Diskin. Last tackle here for Leeds. Sinfield hoists the kick. Donald is after this. Oh, Donald was taken out. Donald was taken out, and the referee has given a penalty.
You always run the risk, don't you, when you give it plenty of height. And you can see there, Long just lunged in front. He stopped. Surely they'll take the quick tap. They have. They're going to run it.
They are, and here comes Ryan Bailey. That's the 4th Leeds penalty. Will it pay for them? As Maguire drops the shoulder, Farsivalou misses it. Gets the ball away on the bounce to Webb. Webb then brings it back the other way to Sinfield. He's grounded by the tackle of Lee Gilmore. Diskin to Burrow. Bailey.
Well, the idea was good, the inside pass, but Bailey was not running onto it. He was virtually stood still at the time.
Diskin scampering from dummy half, finds Sinfield, who in turn finds Webb. Webb then gets it to Maguire and hauls over in the corner off the pass from Keith Senior. But it's another decision for Steve Ganson. And Paul Wellens, he is the man who leads the appeal. But I think I'm not so sure that he wasn't claiming for a forward pass.
That's a try, all right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No worries, that'll go down. And fully deserved as well, the way that Leeds have been adventurous in keeping this ball alive. No problem. There's plenty of grass. That's good downward pressure. And this guy, Ryan Hall, what a season he's having.
Well, he's a leading try scorer in Super League, and I think he's going to get another one to his name. Here he is. That's try number 27, and what's more, it's his 40th in 52 appearances for Leeds in just over 2 years. And the referee, I think, is wanting a word with Paul Wellens for his overzealous confrontation about the validity of that try.
Paul, you've got to be very careful. Visual dissent, bad as anything. Keep your arms down.
It's not what he said, it's what he did. Visual dissent.
Well, it all came about by this. Look at that, Sean Long making no attempt to go for the football at all, trying to kid the referee. And from this, they kept the ball alive. Quick hands, keep it on the move. Dummy runner, you can see the Titi, but what about the quick pass from Senior? He's had a big year. Most people thought Keith Senior perhaps, Twilight, they'd push him into the forwards, but he's been the provider. And this man has reaped the reward. They take the lead.
Yes, Leeds hit the front. Can Sinfield add the extras? Yes, he can. 12-6, Leeds against St Helens in a rip-roaring confrontation at Headingley. They're enjoying it, so are we, and Tony Smith. I'll bring you in a moment when we've seen how this try came about.
It all comes about by the dummy runner coming through, and it just hesitates. It gives them that extra one. You can see there Kyle Eastman, he just shuffled across a little bit too late. This guy made him pay.
Ryan Hall was given his debut by Tony Smith for Leeds 2 years ago, and we wouldn't want to do your job for you, Tony, as the England coach, not when you're here anyway, but isn't it good to see Ryan Hall in this sort of form with the Aussies and the Kiwis on the horizon?
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent this year. He's really come on, but can I just say, I really like the way the referee handled that with Paul Wellens. Paul Wellens is really passionate about stopping tries, and I understand that emotions get high, but we really got to get on top of this, where we're in referees' faces and waving our arms around and complaining and whinging. It's, you know, I hear you say it often, Steve. It's like we see in some other sports. We don't want it to creep in. He handled it really well, the referee.
Here for that.
Move and hold. Go.
Last minute of this first half, which has absolutely flashed by, and Leeds coming again here.
2.
That's Maguire underneath that challenge from Melly and Price. Lee Smith, Sinfield, flat pass to Luluai. Wrestled to the ground by Paul Clough.
They need to get the ball high on this one.
And hold. Go.
Will they go early?
It's with Burrow, and here's Lauatiti. And Lauatiti comes back the other way. Look at the clock. They've got about 15 seconds remaining, so maybe the kick will be on its way here on the fourth tackle. Webb, Sinfield, drop goal attempt, charge down, play on. Here's Maguire. Oh, the pass was too low for Luluai. But it was, well, it was muck and nettles really then for Leeds. They knew the clock was counting down, and Luluai just couldn't take the pass in. It was a low one, it was dipping. But what a game. Saints led, courtesy of Gilmore's try, and Eastman converted, 6-0. Ablett then came up with a try, Sinfield added the goal, 6 apiece, and just before half-time, Super League's top try scorer, Ryan Hall, made it 27 for the season for him, but of more importance tonight, 12-6 to the Rhinos.
Iron Brew sponsors Super League on Sky Sports.
He has to hold on to the ropes. He's in trouble here.
Every boxer hits the wall.
Looks to have nothing left.
It takes a winner to break through.
Sky Sports.
Quick reminder about what we've got coming up for you this Saturday night. It's Hull Kingston Rovers against Warrington. The Cup winners go to Craven Park to take on the team that's going to finish in the top 4 of the Engage Super League at least, and they're after 3rd. And as well as that, on Sunday morning at 8 on Sky Sports 2 and HD2, or at 11 on Sky Sports Extra, you'll be able to see the best moments of that and the extended highlights of the Catalan Dragons against Wakefield, which is 7th against 6th some great games this weekend. None of them probably, arguably, maybe better than this. Leeds 12, St Helens 6. Sensational first half. And the Leeds Rhinos, Brian McLennan would love his team to go into those playoffs as league leaders. They've only done it once before at this club in the 14 seasons of Super League. He wants to make it 2. And if they beat St Helens tonight, well, they will be short odds to achieve that. But St Helens, well, this is the best that they've played for some time. It's a cracking match, and Steve-O will have a look at some of the highlights for us now.
Certainly has been a good game, a good first half, hasn't it? Very fortunate Leeds, because it looks as though Donald get a hands to that. That could have been a knock-on, but Smith made the break. Super play, but how about the way that Paul Wellens gets back here? And from that position, they got work the ball to the right-hand side, and you'll just see that Donald just puts his foot on the whitewash there, and that's the reason it was turned down, no try. St Tom the scoreboard with a beautiful pass from Graham. Gilmore came on the angle, then just run on the arc. It was too much for Webb. Momentum takes the big second row over, and that made it 6-0 in favour of the visitors. The break there from the scrum half, Rob Barrow. You don't see this too often. Where are the Leeds support? Nobody. 5-6 St Helens, nobody there. But from that position, Ablett, too much strength, pops it down. That gave it 12-6. Looking forward to the second half, aren't we? It all came about here from the penalty. Really did not try, not good work by Sean Long there. And then it was Hall that sneaks in at the corner. The combination between Senior and Hall this year has been superb. Quick hands from the old fella, and the young bloke says thanks.
Yes, it's a fantastic first half, it really is. And Leeds have just shaded it. Tony Smith's with us. Is that fair enough, do you think?
Yeah, it is, I think. Geez, you only have to blink and you miss something in this game at the moment. It goes from one end to the other, and both have put some pressure under one another, and I think Leeds have had more pressure on Saints down that end, and they're probably a bit disappointed, I think, Saints to let in a try from dummy half. It was a bit of a soft try, considering the amount of defence that they'd stopped Saints on so many occasions. They'll be really disappointed there, but there's so many game breakers from both teams in this game, and it's going to be something special from one of these players, whether it be Roby or Price or Eastman from Saints. But Burrow and Maguire and Webb are all very dangerous, and it's going to take something special from one of those.
It is. I think if you mentioned something special, we should actually give great credit to James Graham, because he's had one heck of a first half, and he was the first man to react to the possible drop goal right on the bell.
Yeah, he's a competitor. Every time he's on the field, he runs his blood to water, and you saw that in the first 5 minutes of the game. You see he was up for it, and he saved a few tries himself. But he was very, very good. He was out there doing what was expected of him. And that doesn't matter how tired he gets, he still gets out there and does it. So all credit to him.
Absolutely. Now, if this is round 26 and we're 2 weeks away from the playoffs, Lord alone knows what it's going to be like when we hit the playoffs. Do you really want to be involved in them?
Yeah. It's exciting, isn't it?
You sit on the sideline with us.
Yeah, exactly. Your players want it too. And you can see these guys are getting ready for it. There's a lot between these two teams. They like to play each other. There's a lot riding on this game tonight. But there's a lot, there's just prestige about winning a game between these two clubs. So, there's the rivalry's there, and you can see it matters.
It does matter, and it matters because the league leaders' shield is probably at stake tonight. But take all of that out, and Tony Smith is absolutely right. Whenever Leeds and Saints play each other, they both want to win. Saints have won twice against Leeds this year. Can Leeds just redress the balance a little? Well, they're on course at half-time, but it's only by 6 points. Expect more in the second half.
Iron Brew sponsors Super League on Sky Sports.
If you don't use your printer because the ink costs too much, then what's the point in having a printer? Switch to a Kodak all-in-one printer, and on average, you'll save £75 a year on ink. See how much you could save at printandprosper.com.
This Saturday, it's a lotto rollover with an amazing jackpot of £6 million.
Going to Dave's lunchtime birthday drinks. No, going to KFC for barbecue beast box meal.
Barbecue fillet burger, barbecue boneless bites, barbecue beans, fries and drink. The irresistible new KFC barbecue beast box meal.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Call my baby lollipop, tell you why. Her kiss is sweeter than a cherry pie. And when she does a shaky rock and dance, man, I haven't got a chance.
Treat yourself to a Dell Inspiron 15 laptop with intelligent Intel processors. Dell, yours is here.
This year, you can save an average of £75 on your inkjet printer ink by switching to a Kodak all-in-one printer. See how much you could save at printandprosper.com.
That's right. We can offer you a combined MOT and service from just £99 with a stamp in your book and a guarantee on parts and labour.
That's great. What else do you do? Brilliant. Thanks. That's great.
No problem at all.
Last year, the UK spent £600 million on inkjet printer ink. Seems like a lot. This year, switch to a Kodak all-in-one printer and enjoy high-quality, low-cost ink. See how much you could save at printandprosper.com.
There's one thing that I got. There's one thing that I got.
Citroën are celebrating 90 years of innovation at the cutting edge of automotive design and technology.
So the shape of the clouds in the sky.
And now you can get 0% APR typical finance over 4 years on the award-winning Citroën Grand C4 Picasso.
They think they can get us out of recession. They think they have the answers to Afghanistan. They think they know what's best for our children. They say they'll fix the NHS, cut crime, and clean up politics. They want power. They want your taxes. They want your vote. Sky News is campaigning for the UK's first ever live election debate between the party leaders. Sign the petition at skynews.com/leadersdebate.
Iron Brew sponsors Super League on Sky Sports.
There's more live action tonight, boxing, as John Simpson takes on Paul Truscott for the Commonwealth Featherweight title. That's at 9:30 on Sky Sports 1 and in high definition on HD1. And there's US Open tennis, including Andy Murray against Paul Capdeville over on Sky Sports 2 and HD2 right now. But dare you leave this? Dare you leave the top two in the Engage Super League? Leeds are ahead by 12 points to 6. And we're about to get the second half underway. A cracking first half. Leeds just shaded it. Sean Long has been very busy and been involved in the thick of the action. Big Kylie Luluai. 2 years at Leeds and 2 grand final wins in those 2 years. Can he make it 3 out of 3? An unprecedented 3 straight grand final successes begging for Leeds this year if they can get to Old Trafford. First of all, it's the league leaders' shield that is up for grabs. And Leon Price is underneath the Leeds kick-off. And St Helens will have use of the ball first in this second half.
Oh, Kylie, wait, go.
Here's Graham. Outstanding first 40 minutes. He took a breather of about 5 or 10 minutes on the bench, but came back to importantly charge down the Kevin Sinfield attempted drop goal. He's a man mounted for St Helens, he really is. Robing. gives it to Graham. Graham, ooh, a little thought for a moment about the offload. Thought better of it. Roby again. Here's Leon Price. Price is hounded to the ground right on the halfway line. That's the last one. Here's the kick from Long. Webb's after this.
Send this side.
Donald is there in support. The chase is good.
Yeah, they got there in numbers, and that's obviously going to be the tactics by the coach, Mick Potter. Trying to turn them around. It was most of the time in that first half, the Rhinos really just had the one-upmanship in regards to the kick and chase game, and Mick Potter is fully aware that they've got to get a good field position. They've got the power, they've got the skill there.
They bring a pretty good record on the road to Headingley tonight. They've only lost twice away from home this year at Salford and Hull Kingston Rovers. They also knocked Leeds out of the Cup here on the 5th of April, and they've won 3 of the last 4 visits at Headingley. But Leeds want to try and put the record straight tonight if they can.
Pretty good tactics by the Rhinos yet again. They're pretty quick getting the ball out wide. This is a high one. Oh, the wind's got it.
Oh, it's a terrible bounce for Wellens, and that's knocked on by Melly.
Well, it's a swirling wind here at Headingley Carnegie Stadium, and I must say, they were all at sea on this. But a shocking bounce. Paul Wellens really couldn't do anything about that, and Melly couldn't handle it. This will be more pressure. Now will Leeds pull a blindside move from the scrum base.
Sinfield with a long looping pass to Brent Webb, who finds Maguire, who gives it short to Senior. Senior offloads and finds Maguire. Maguire does the same. Oh, Lauatiti fiddled with it. To knock on, I think it's one each way, and it's going to be first one against Lauatiti.
Well, Lauatiti gets it, and that's the knock on. It certainly touched Flannery, and as soon as it touches Flannery, that is deemed to be, here it is, that's it, that's sufficient. That's the reason why Leeds did not get head and feet.
Familiar territory for St Helens, by the way. This is the 5th time in a row that they have trailed at half-time in a match. 16-6 at the DW Stadium for Wigan against Hull. 12-6 here at Headingley for Leeds against St Helens. St Helens in possession with Roby.
Well, Gilmore got off after playing the football, had a look at the official Phil Bentham and says, hey, I got a real bash in the mush there. Danny Maguire launched the left arm. Wasn't a clenched fish, but it certainly made its mark.
Price is wrestled to the ground on the last, just inside Leeds territory. Back again to Long, and the kick angled towards the corner. This time it bounces handily for Webb. Wellens and company, Gilmore.
Well, that rather surprised me that they went into the corner, kept the ball low, when they've just witnessed down the other end of the field that this swirling wind is creating all sorts of trouble for the 2 wingers and the full back. Saints really got to give him some height.
I think it might blow back over their head the way the wind's swirling there, though, Steve-O. They're punching it into the corner. They're looking to improve their kicking game. They didn't get much territory from their kicking game. I'm sure Mick Potter would have had a chat to him about that and just get some consistency going in this early part of the second half.
Lauatiti, oh, brilliantly gets the ball away to Rob Burrow. Burrow then offloads it to Bailey. Bailey taking on James Graham and James Roby. Last one on halfway Leeds. Kick here from Sinfield. Up it goes again. This could bounce anywhere. Price is in the full-back job. Price gets as far as Jamie Jones and 2 others. Maguire was 1.
Hold, Leeds, hold. Wait, go.
And Matt Diskin was the other. Here is Francis Melly.
Second. Move.
5 minutes of the second half gone.
Go.
2 grand final wins to Leeds, the last 2 against St Helens. 33-6 in 2007, 24-16 last year.
Go.
Come into this with a run of 9 wins from the last 10 behind them to the Rhinos.
Move.
Looks as though it's going to be very difficult for Saints to get anywhere near to the halfway line. It's just a messing around there. That's good refereeing.
Making it worse, James.
Just got locked through. Nearly got through it into half-back. Had a couple of attempts, half attempts to get through. Hasn't made it as yet.
Last one here for St Helens. That's off the back. Oh, it's off the back of Bailey. He's ruled that as a charge down. And the St Helens player is quick to tell Kyle Eastman that he has wiped the tackle count down.
Yep. He raised the arms and the referee has got it absolutely right yet again. Having a big game is Bentham.
Here's Roby, good scampering run from dummy half Roby. The markers just went to sleep for a moment. That's shot, he's got the penalty.
But that's better there by Roby. That's the style of play that we've come to recognise by the St Helens side. He was taking a quick tap.
Graham on the first drive. They're 9 metres away from the line, St Helens. This is Roby. Back it comes to Long. Showed it to Eastman and kept hold of it himself. Took the tackle. Roby waits. Clough is on his shoulder. Here is Paul Clough. Leeds big in defence with Luluai and Bailey. Roby. Eastman, they go wide to Price and further wide to Gardner. Gardner brushes away from Lautiti.
That was great sliding defence there by Leeds. Even though it was a long pass out to Gardner, they moved with him.
Long, back the other way. Eastman again. Eastman has got Flannery with him. Flannery will get home for St Helens.
No doubt about this one.
Chris Flannery with the try for St Helens. A variety of roles this year, and all done with consistency by Chris Flannery. He was man of the match in the 26-18 home win against Leeds in Super League at Nosey Road in March, and he's just come up with a telling contribution here.
This is the charge down. Well, if you raise your arms, you're going to run the risk. And Bailey certainly did that. If it ricochets off the arm, they've got the extra 6. And this was good work here by Flannery. And so from Eastman. Runs the angle back on the inside. Bailey too slow to respond, fill in the gap. Left Senior far too much work to do. Switch. Back on the inside. Bailey was trotting, should have filled in. You can't allow the big fella like Flannery to go through. And it's too late. Game's on.
Great try from Chris Flannery. 10 times he played for Queensland, never for the Kangaroos though. Chris Flannery and Kyle Eastman with the opportunity here to level matters for St Helens. He's missed it. It's 12-10 to the Rhinos.
Well, that really could prove costly after Flannery has put the 4 points on the board. Mick Potter will not be too happy. McLennan, looking to get away, he feels it was not a difficult conversion. It just shows you the pressure that's still on here.
Indeed, and this wind that has suddenly got up in the last 20 minutes or so, it really is swirling around Headingley. Trying to make an excuse here for young Kyle Eastman, I suppose. Missing that kick. He's got to be in the running. One of a host of candidates, to be fair, for the Young Player of the Year award this year.
We looked at the start of the game. Over the course of the season, Leeds have kicked 80% of their goals. St Helens only 61%. That's a fundamental difference, really, and a massive. You know, Saints are one of the worst at it, and I guess an improvement's got to be made for next season and the years beyond that. It will be improving their goal-kicking success.
And stand.
Diskin just gets out of the way. Price plays the ball to Roby. He finds Paul Clough. He goes down on the last tackle from Ali Lautiti. Roby fires the pass to Long. Up it goes again.
A bit too far.
Brent Webb underneath it. Tries to go through Gidley. Not an easy task. Matt Gidley. He's one of the 30-somethings who will be at St Helens in 2010. A one-year extension agreed recently for Matt Gidley. Lautiti now for the Rhinos.
That's much better. A little bit more urgency from the forwards, that's what's needed. There was a purple patch midway through that first half when the forwards took control.
40-20 attempt here by Sinfield.
They kicked early, it's on the third. Will they get the advantage? No.
Just didn't have the legs. Wellens did well. Smith, though, gets to him. Tremendous chase from Lee Smith. Graham, the Gardner, I beg your pardon. Gardner just jinked out of the way of one tackle, couldn't get away from Luluai. It's Clough.
He's an important player for St Helens, Paul Clough. He comes off the bench very often. He just gets the hard yards, and he very often provides that quicker play of the ball, which we don't notice because Roby scooted and gone on to make the break. Clough's the one just getting his breath back, having done the hard stuff.
Ball through the legs of Roby. Lost a little bit of momentum there, St Helens. Well, the last tackle here.
There's plenty of time left in the second half, and I'm wondering when Mick Potter will send out the word to Kyle Eastman. Come a little bit closer into the play, into the action. He's got the step and he's got the speed.
It was his kick there, he's following it up, but Webber's gone past him.
Surrender! Stand!
Ryan Hall. Maguire, Hall again on the run around, straight into the chest of Graham, offside St Helens.
Yeah, Leon Price just sneaked away a little bit too early, and joining him was Lee Gilmore. It is so vital when it comes to big games like this. They went early. You can see Gilmore, Price, they paid the price.
So a chance. It was a great deep kick with a little bit of that wind behind it, I think. There's a couple of footballs on the field. The referee wants one cleared off before Maguire can restart, which he does now and finds Diskin. And here is Peacock. Big collision with James Graham.
Lauatiti way out on that left-hand side. Got Senior outside him. Will he do the bash and then offload?
That's a good ball from Burrow to Webb. Here is Senior. Senior hangs on because it's only the second tackle. That's a quick play. The ball. Here's Lauatiti. Out the back door to Ryan Bailey. He is held up by three desperate defenders. Bailey wants to play it, does so to Sinfield, who finds Burrow, who jinks back that way. Lauatiti again. Oh, basketball style to Webb, but Graham read the script. Burrow, Sinfield, Maguire. Maguire loses it. Wellens has it for St Helens.
Maguire should be furious. He had the opportunity. Where are you, boys? And again, the support play has been lacking in this Rhinos outfit. So many opportunities.
What a moment for Ian Kirk, just on the field for the Leeds Rhinos. 3 months out of the game. Ian Kirk back from a leg fracture in the defeat against the Catalan Dragons in Perpignan in June. He's missed 10. What a game to come back into.
You've got to applaud that defence, though, haven't you? You know, there was about 3 try-scoring opportunities there. The desperation shown by St Helens. Here we go again.
Leon Price. Little half break from him. But he manages to get the ball away just the same. That's the last tackle. What a break from Price.
Super balance there by the standoff.
Here's Sean Long, and that is not forward by Eastman, but Leeds offside.
Oh, that's a big call there, isn't it, by Phil Bentham? Either way, they were sneaking up on that right-hand side. But for the first time in this game, Leon Price injects himself. Asks the questions of the defence and got the answer. A clean break.
Here's James Graham from 10 metres out. Halted by Kirk's tackle. Jones, Buchanan and Sinfield. Roby. Here's Long. Long to Eastman. Eastman darts through and loses the ball.
I'm not so sure he loses it. It's been given that he has, but I think Kyle Eastman knows deep down that there might have been a hand in here, and there was deliberate there, as far as I'm concerned, by Lauatiti. And the youngster came back with a smile on his face because he knows that he's been given a very poor call here. That should have been a penalty, 2-on-1. Bailey was down low. And from decisions like that, the game could be won or lost.
It's a really surprising action from Ali Lauatiti. Kyle Eastman coming at you at full speed. You're not sure that Bailey's going to come on the inside and tackle him, and you attempt to pull the ball out of his arms so close to your try line. He got away with it, but...
Here's Peacock. St Helens were on him in a flash then when Peacock received the ball. The crowd in the south stand appealing for a penalty that never came. Here is Sinfield. He's dumped to the ground by Eastman. Lautiti again. Gets the ball away to Senior. Oh, and Ryan Hall does brilliantly well to hang on to that. Steps out of one challenge. Still going. Here's a pass to Maguire. To Lee Smith off his feet. Lee Smith with pace. Gets the ball away to Donald. Long sitting down and affects the tackle.
And again, where was support there?
Well, Long sat down, fell him on the floor, and then stood up and dropped on him, and the referee has deemed that as interference.
Just had a brainstorm.
What a great effort, though. In an armchair, and the next thing he gets the man down.
Gives away the penalty, though, Eddie.
Yes, he does.
It wasn't a rocking chair. Well, it might be. It might be a rocking rollicking from Mick Potter, their coach.
Here's Kirk for the Rhinos. Big opportunity for them here. Burrow finds Peacock, taking on Graham.
Move! James! Waits! Go!
10 metres away, Leeds in possession with Maguire and Senior. Gidley's done a great job on him so far. That should be a penalty.
It should have been. He went back for the second, don't he?
Lautiti. Still Lautiti. They keep him out.
Move!
Foregone. Burrow at dummy half. Back it comes to Maguire. Maguire goes inside, Roby goes inside. Chris Flannery, but can't get past the last line of defence. Last one here.
Dink it into the in goal. Dink it into the in goal. Oh, Bailey's got on his own. That is not the right
time.
Oh, has he got it down?
I think he's got it down. No, he hasn't got it down. Steve, what did you say?
He has and he hasn't.
It was his head, I think, on the floor, the ball in the air.
Back up, Jeremy.
Well, there's the ball, you're right. Well, you shouldn't bleach your hair.
Okay, Tony.
Love the chance.
Once again, great goal line defence. They have got just about the best goal line defence in the business. You know, Leeds are pretty good in that area too. They stopped them up the other end. Fantastic defence. That needs rewarding as well.
Indeed. Huddersfield boast the best defence in Super League. Leeds and St Helens are next best in the competition this year. Down to Bill.
Relief for Saints supporters. There was a suspicion that John Wilkie might not reappear. He came off just after about half an hour of the game. He's been sitting on the sidelines without any sign of him coming back. But he is back out there. Of course, he's carrying this knee condition, which meant that he was thought to be missing tonight's game. He is back out there for Saints, and they'll be hoping he can start pulling the strings for them.
Long's kick is out on the full.
Not what the doctor ordered when your side is looking a little bit ill. He looks a little bit worried, does Mick Potter. I think he's just getting the feeling that perhaps this wonderful Saints defence may be tiring. As Tony Smith has mentioned, it has been heroic at times.
This is Brent Webb, as Saints are called upon to defend their line again. Burrow picks it up and gives it to Maguire. He finds Senior. Gidley and co over on that far side have so far done a great job on Senior. Here's Lautiti. The ball.
Play on.
Play on,
That's
maybe.
Play on.
Yes, it might be. Burrow.
That's great refereeing there by Bentham.
Here goes Senior. Now it's Ryan Hall who shoots his way over. Second try for Ryan Hall. Had a little word with Wilkin. Try is given by Phil Bentham. Cannot go back to see what that schmozzle was in the previous play the ball. He waved play on and he ruled it himself. And he cannot go back to that because it was in the previous play the ball. Ryan Hall, second try, Super League's top try scorer, now makes it 28 for the campaign. And more importantly, presses Leeds ahead by 6 points with a kick to come.
When it comes to pressure games and so much on the result of the match. You've got to have the top officials out there. And on this occasion, it certainly came from Phil Bentham. All came about by the bad kick by Sean Long. Look at this. Ball just comes back on the inside. This is where Hall scores a try, but the build-up to it. There you see, Gidley pulls him back. It's a right schmozzle. Cena gets the ball through. This is Hall again. But I have to give praise to Phil Bentham. Here it is. This is knocked on there, knocks back by Wilkin. Then it's Lauatici, then goes back. Oh, great stuff.
Ryan Hall in a absolutely rich vein of form. It's 9 tries in his last 4 matches now. Let's all sing Rule Britannia, because for an English point of view, with what's to come in the autumn with the 4 nations, fantastic news. Sinfield has missed with the kick. 16-10 though.
It's Leeds Rhinos.
Not much between the two sides all night. Only 6 points either way.
It's just the speed of the play the ball. Every now and then, one team gets a quick play the ball, and away they go. They're both so good at exploiting the quick play the ball. They're just so dangerous, both teams.
They are indeed. And we have less than 20 minutes to go. And Sean Long is leaving the scene, and Kieran Cunningham returns. Is Long leaving the scene? No, Long is still out there.
Eastman's
gone off. There's obviously a tactical switch there by Mick Potter, because Long moved immediately. Looked as though he was on his way off to the sideline, didn't it? But it's Kyle Eastman who's gone off.
He swapped sides defensively now, Sean Long. He's gone over to the right side now.
But he's got a heck of a job on his hands, because they've kept Senior pretty quiet. But Mr. St Helens, I suppose, Kieran Cunningham, is out there. Here is Lauatici.
Oh, swinging arm from Cunningham. There wasn't a mister there.
And Lauatici looks at him and says, good job, I ducked. Sinfield slides the kick through.
Great
and
kick as well.
It is a great kick. He's
wonderful.
Francis Met. Look at that. He's even had to go the other side of the post to pick this up, asking Melly to run it back. Well, he does gamely for 12 metres.
Well, the radar was missing in the first half from the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, but boy, he's got it back in this second. OK, he's got that wind advantage. But the kicking game has been superb. He's pegging St Helens back time and time again.
Here goes Wellens. Kirk is there, Peacock is there, Sinfield is there. Cunningham, Graham, Roby. Down he goes, Roby, on tackle number 4. Cunningham, Long. Gets the ball away, Flannery. Last one.
Maybe a chip over the top, something a little bit different.
He's clear.
No, it's a long one.
Good kick too from Long, to be fair, but Donald and Webb had positioned themselves perfectly for it.
First move.
16-10, that missed kick from Sinfield, critical. St Helens missed one, of course, from Eastman. Could be equally so. Here goes Ryan Hall on a hat-trick. 3 tackles gone, Leeds are over halfway. Burrow. Peacock. 22-12 at the DW Stadium. Wigan against Hull. Kirk on the charge. Good defence from Wilkin. Not bad if he is playing on one leg, is he? Burrow to Maguire. Angled kick. Webb is after this. Horrible bounce again. Well claimed by Gidley. Brilliant pass to Wellens. Wellens will begin the counter. Wellens will begin the counter.
Super play combination. The centre Gidley realised that Wellens was positioned in a superb area. They're not done yet, the Saints. But
all
can
the
they
big
get
guns are out there, aren't they?
But can they get field position? That's been their problem so far in the second half.
Cunningham gets the short ball away to Gidley. Dealt with that threat by Burrow. Don't know whether he's missed a tackle yet, Rob Burrow, but it's been very good. That was a great ball from Long.
Well spotted though, wasn't it?
Leeds read the script. Here's Long again. Up goes the kick. That's swirling around, but it's high and web. Ryan Hall it is. Just look at this quality pass.
Yeah, back on the inside, but it was well spotted by the defence. But it's going to take something like that, at the quality of the inside pass from the likes of Sean Long, to break through this Rhinos defence. It's been pretty solid on both sides. They've worked the socks off, both of them.
Peacock up the middle again. He's done that all night, hasn't he?
Well, that's all you need from a man of his stature. He knows when to settle things down.
Diskin with a run. Cut down by Graham.
There's no panic running through the veins of this fella.
Sinfield. Drop goal attempt this. Drop goal attempt from Sinfield, just wide. Must be a strong win.
Certainly is, but it brought a smile on my face, and 20,000 of Rhinos fans here as well. This drifted away to the left-hand side, and that shows you the confidence when they realise that their defence is solid, even though you're giving the ball back to... oh, that's a great break.
Was by Melly. Sinfield was just looking for the little extra cushion of the 7-point advantage.
Hold. Go.
Pull it to her. Straight at Maguire.
Well, that just shows the respect that the Leeds have for this St Helens outfit. They know that they're capable of getting that converted try.
Mari Fasavalou is on, and Jamie Peacock is caught offside.
Well, I don't know why they stopped the quick tap penalty. The referee again stopped it to blow his whistle. Just allowed 5 seconds there for Leeds to get back onside. When it is possible to encourage the quick tap restart, it's still part of rugby league.
It is, but there's got to be control. Sometimes the referees have got to be in control too. Otherwise, they take it behind, put referees' backs. And...
Well, that came off a Leeds player, but I think it played the man rather than the ball playing the man.
Yeah, I think he's spot on it. Flips it away. There's no way that Maguire played for that. Came off the knee. He wasn't aware of it, so this will be head and feed to the home side, as you have just witnessed by the referee Phil Bentham, who I must say has handled this game superbly.
Only Salford and Harlequins have won here in Super League. They've won the last 6 at Headingley, and that's the best home sequence in the Engage Super League. Lee Smith. It's been Fortress Headingley this year, and this is their last game in the weekly rounds. They will be back, of course, for a playoff match at least. At least one.
Move! Go!
Peacock. Diskin finds Sinfield, who goes for a 40-20. Not quite got the angle, but the chase is on with Donald. It just skips dead. Wellens was policing it all the way, mind you.
Tremendous tactic yet again. There's a wonderful brain, hasn't he? Kevin Sinfield, thinking all the time.
Oh, Long's gone for a kick to the sideline, and he's found it.
Touche. He's just come up with a great tactical play back at him. You know, the two very, very good tactical-minded players there that have just gone one way and one the other way.
It's an optional restart on the 20. When the ball runs dead, you can kick long like that, or you can take it with a quick tap.
Do you remember he tried it in a grand final? Yes. Was it 2 years ago before the rule had been introduced?
And that's when they altered the rules. Well, he's got his reward here. Just interesting to see that Kevin Sinfield kick downfield, though. If we get our way, Phil, that ball will be brought back to where Sinfield kicks the ball. But that was a tactical kick by Kevin Sinfield. It wasn't just a oof and oaf, was it? And that's probably why they leave it as it is.
That's a test here now, because rarely have St Helens been in this sort of field position in the second half. Some vigorous defence from the Leeds team, but they'll be tested here now in the last 10 minutes.
And Cunningham will test them, so will Graham. Eastman's back out there. Just on the field, as you see, for Flannery. It's Fasavalou. Barnstorming run from the big fella. Last one for St Helens. A metre short. Cunningham. Long. Dabbed over the top. And flicked dead by Scott Donald.
They'll get possession back, and that's quick thinking by Sean Long yet again. That's what they needed. Good play, though, by Donald. Read it exceptionally well. He realised if Francis Melly was out and behind him. Safety first from the experienced Australian. It had to be as well, but boy, 2 kicks. One from the 20, on the possession, and then applied the pressure yet again. Nervous times for Leeds.
10 minutes to go. Loves it, Brian McLennan, doesn't he? Absolutely loves it.
It's been a cracking game.
It has. Wellens to Fasavalu. Cunningham is scheming at dummy half. Gives it to Wilkie. Good tackle by Lauatiti and Senior. 28-12 at Wigan. Here is Long again. Now it's Price. Wellens waits. Gives it to Long, who's getting more and more involved. Good ball to Pulatua. Gets away from Lauatiti. Almost there. Cunningham again. Waiting at dummy half. Back it comes to Long. Oh! Just lost it momentarily.
Mick Potter knows that could be the ball game. Still plenty of time to go, of course, but I don't know whether he was attempting to go for the kick.
You know, you wonder whether he's effective with vision with his left eye. I've read reports that Sean Long still doesn't have clear eyesight on the left-hand side of his face since the surgery to repair the fractured jaw, you know, and
I noticed that in the interview we had before the match, actually. Quite honestly, I didn't realise that. I thought that he seems to be blinking a bit, doesn't he?
Well, he said he couldn't play if it's actually daylight. It's only the fact that this match is played at night and the remaining ones this season will be. He's still really struggling with that, the nerve damage from the surgery.
Tough game, isn't it? It's a heck of a game. I mean, the sport in general, not just this one. 20 to Leeds.
Oh, that is a real relieving pressure with the error there. I'm not so sure that Wilkin went far too high. Big decision by the official. Not surprisingly, Leeds are not rushing.
Yeah, you can see that there is a problem, isn't there, with Sean's eye? There's no question of that. Can you imagine any other sportsman in any other sport taking the field with a problem like that? Not standing square here.
2 points on offer, they'll take them.
Listen, the crowd, they're shouting 2.
Brian McLennan is an experienced coach, don't worry about that. And the kicking tee has been rushed out.
I don't think there's any doubt the skipper, Kevin Sinfield, made the decision for everybody. Just walked up to Phil Bentham and said, we'll have the 2.
You're the man square, you're right at the side of him.
Tony Pulatua, I think, does not agree with Phil Bentham's reading of that situation.
A little bit of a natter there from Kieran Cunningham.
Well, he's spot on. He turned his back and he moved away, and credit Diskin, actually. I think he realised that and he went for the penalty that was forthcoming.
Very smart thinking, you're right, Eddie. And this is an important kick. Rolled off the tee with the wind behind it, but I must say, this could be the kick that gives the Rhinos the top position in Super League. We know we've got next week, of course, but you'd have to think that Rhinos would be solid.
Sinfield doesn't make a mistake from that range, bang in front. They have only finished top once before in 13 previous Super League seasons, under Tony Smith, by the way, and the smart money now will be on Leeds if they hang on to this victory to finish top in 2009.
Well, this is a short kick off the left-hand side. To put it up, it's cleared the 10 metres. Can the Saints players get to it? Well, I think they'll get possession from the scrum anyway.
They will. It was knocked forward. And out of the field of play by Lee Smith.
Well, they certainly believe that 2 tries are possible in the last 5 minutes.
Well, this is St Helens field.
No, I know. Even they probably even consider 3 a possibility too with this amount of time.
I think they'd settle for 2.
They've got to change something, though. They've got to make sure that, you know, the tip over the top or the little grubber through. Great stuff. Wonderful stuff.
They're offside of the scrum. I think they broke from the scrum too quickly, Leeds. Yes, that's the signal from the referee. What a tackle from Burrow that gets no reward. So, what an opportunity for St Helens with Graham and Gilmore. Now it's a test of the Leeds goal line defence. 28-16 at Wigan. Cunningham, long. Eastman. Eastman still.
Boy, you'd have expected Eastman just to step round Keithsini, but he didn't. Went very low.
Here is Farsavalou, and that's tremendous Leeds defence. Cunningham, out it comes to Gilmore. Lee Smith. Was he offside or was it too high?
Oh, he's getting a bit excited.
Well, at the start of the season, we talked about the ill feeling between these two clubs following the World Cup campaign, and people said we were talking nonsense.
And I still think you do.
If you would know.
If you recall, last game these two teams played, Lee Smith and Lee Gilmore had a going to there. They've just had another, they've carried it on. These two have had a little bit in their memory bank, I'd say.
Well, I reckon that Lee Smith, for the first one, should get a sin bin, and then going in for the second, certainly cements the decision by the official. What will he do, though? It deserves a sin bin.
Leave us for a second. Walk away.
Gilmore and Burgess have thrown punches.
Gilmore and Burgess thrown punches. Okay.
I've got a separate thing. It's not major. Jones, Buchanan, Graham and Farsavalou.
Well, let's just get down to Bill on the side.
Okay.
Eddie, I think that might have its roots in an incident between Lee Smith and Lee Gilmore very early in the game when Saints were on the break, and Smith and Gilmore clashed off the ball right in front, in fact, of the Saints dugout, and they squared up to each other, and I think it might have been simmering since then.
Okay. Lee! I'll deal with it.
Well, Tony will disagree, but I think that's been simmering since last year.
They're great competitors. These two clubs, they've been competing in the last two grand finals. Of course there's feeling, but when they get together, they're teammates, you know, that's what they do. That's what rugby league players do. You take any one of these players and put him in the other team for next year, and they'll be best buddies. That's how rugby league players, that's how they work together.
St Helens get the penalty for the high tackle.
Say what you like, it's still boiling. There's a lot of aggression out there.
The Leeds line charges forward. Here's Pulatua. Diskin and Peacock bring him down.
And on this occasion, it's the Leeds defence you have to admire.
So far, Eastman. Wilkin. Minute to go at the DW, 34-16. Wigan have won that. Who's won this? Leeds in the box seat at the moment, but Saints pressing. Long is tackled by Sinfield. Long is harassed to the ground. Wants to get going. Diskin was lucky to get away with that. Here is Farsavalou.
Looked like Diskin to me should have been penalised for it. Boy, they're scrambling yet again in the Rhinos.
Last tackle. Cunningham. Graham. Pulatua.
Couldn't reach it.
That's the last on the power play. Pulatua.
Maguire's tackle was superb. Frustration for the Saints fans.
4 years in a row they finished top of the tree after the weekly rounds. Are Leeds going to deny them 5 in a row? 3.5 minutes remaining. It's St Helens' turn now to pile in. No, they're praying. The St Helens crowd are praying. Penalty to Leeds. A relieving penalty for holding down and to play the ball by the skipper.
Smart play, though. They got on with the game very, very quickly. They could see that Kieran Cunningham was off balance, wasn't stood square. And there'll be no rush about this at all.
This is coming to us. Even the England coach stopped. It's with Diskin and Luluai. Listen to the South Stand. massive psychological boost to go into the playoffs as top dogs. But it didn't matter the last 2 years. Leeds came up and took the grand final from second. Any one of the 8 this year is capable.
Oh, there's an incident. Now the touch judge is on. Someone got clattered.
Well, I think Bill's the closest. Let's see, Bill, what did you
I
see?
had a box seat on that one, Eddie. Keith Senior and John Wilkin going at it hammer and tongs. The tackle, I think, by Wilkin on Senior, and no respecter of reputations, John Wilkin, and the two of them are still going at it.
Now, was it a punch, or did he just push?
Oh, it was a punch.
We'll soon find out. Yep. Missed the first time, and then got in number 2, which connected.
Senior's trying a single punch to the head, deliberate, major contact.
Okay, major contact, proper punch.
Yes.
As Tony Smith says, the adrenaline sometimes runs through their veins, irrespective of which club they play for. That's why we call it the greatest game on earth. And these two wonderful sides have shown skill, fire, venom. It's been fantastic. Senior still complaining, arguing. Meet you outside after the game. Yeah, have a beer, me and you, anytime. Name the place. It's all good stuff.
If you were a Hollywood scriptwriter, you couldn't set a better scenario here for the rematch. I hope that at some point in the next 6 weeks there will be a rematch, because you won't. I'll tell you what, you'll need to buy a ticket pretty soon. This is just perfect.
Well, I'm saying nothing.
I don't condone the illegal play here, but I tell you what, I enjoy being so close to the aggression here and enjoying that rugby league played at the cutting edge.
And this is where self-control comes into our game. You know, it is a violent sport, yeah, it's an aggressive sport, but you also need control at the right time, and that's the beauty of it. And if you don't, you lose out and you lose players.
There's a card on the way here. It's yellow. Keith Senior leaves the scene.
And he deserves it, be it retaliator or not. So the plot thickens, the seconds tick away.
And St Helens now have a one-man advantage with less than 2 minutes to go. Headingley dumps the ball into touch. I don't think there's long enough for St Helens to win the match, but there's certainly enough time for them to score the try. Graham is tackled by Jones Buchanan, and he gets up and he looks at the referee with arms akimbo. Here is Eastman wide to Wellens. There the is dropped it, and with it St Helens have dropped the league leaders' shield.
That opportunity is being so good throughout this game. He's worked his socks off as Francis Melly throughout, and the error at a vital moment, crucial pressure. He's not happy.
That was a second or two ago when he was sent to the sin bin. Not when Francis Melly dropped the ball. He might have a smile on his face now because he knows Leeds are going to win the match. Well, listen, these two sides we have heard from the England coach are the best of pals.
The fiercest of rivals, Eddie, though, here now, when all of a year's work, blood, sweat and tears is coming to the line here now. No, it's not. It's starting to build to that now, isn't it?
Well, if this mob are mates, I wouldn't like to cross any of them.
Well, the competitive juices start to fly when you're out there on the field.
I know how long is left. There's plenty of time for something else to go off. Right, stop it from now on. That's it.
What did he say? There's plenty of time for something else to go off?
To be sent off, probably.
Well, I tell you what, he was going to be brave to take the first drive in after this
Peacock's
penalty.
got his hand up here for it. Him and Luluai.
Well, Luluai was in the Samoan camp in Australia. Here, no, he isn't. Oh, it's a chip over looking for Jones Buchanan. Horrible double bounce. Oh, I was going to say he's got it, he hasn't. That's going to be the lot. A knock-on against Jamie Jones-Buchanan. It's time up. Listen to the crowd counting down. League Leaders' Shield is Leeds Rhinos, I think, providing it all goes according to plan next weekend. But their points difference is such that St Helens, and St Helens could win by 60 or 70 points next week, I suppose. James Graham has marched away from everything. I haven't seen him shake a hand yet. And he's wandering off to his own supporters up the other end.
Well, they had the fiercest of arguments with Paul Wellens, who's running up behind him here now to try and speak with him again. They really did have a major disagreement at the end of the match.
Well, it had everything. It had some fantastic action. It had some tremendous tries. It had some great skill. But it had a little bit of an edge.
Don't you like your meals with a little bit of spice, Eddie?
I'm glad, Phil, we're up here and not out there, I must say. Well, it's all smiles now, because Leeds Rhinos know just how important, in terms of the league supremacy going into the playoffs, he knows how important it is, and James Graham goes off and chunners in the ear of Brian McLennan. Kieran Cunningham's with Bill.
Kieran, it didn't disappoint from a neutral point of view, it did from a Saints point of view, but you gave it every best shot.
Yeah, Leeds are a great side, you know, and we're a good side. We've hit a bit of a sticky patch in the last few weeks, and this is our chance to start building for the playoffs. And it was a cracking game. I didn't deserve a loser, but that's the way it goes.
Well, I mean, it's still not beyond the realms of possibility you can get that top spot, but it's a psychological blow, perhaps.
I know, I wouldn't say so. If anything, it's picked us up. You know, we've been poor the last few weeks, very poor. Today was the first time that we've had a full squad out for a good few months. So, you know, we went okay defensively. I thought we were pretty good, and you know, we just got beat by a better side on the night, and hopefully we'll bounce back from that.
Thanks, Kieran. Thanks for talking to us. Let's bring the man of the match in, Ryan Hall. It was all calm where you were on your side of the pitch, wasn't it? I mean, tonight Leeds have been scoring tries for fun, yourself included, but defence was just important tonight.
Yeah, and a game like that, the best defensive side always wins. Yeah, like you say, it did kick off in the last 10 minutes. But apart from Keith standing there, mate, it was quite calm. But yeah, we're over at Moon here, Canal fans here, over at Moon to win it. Well, not to win it, but just, put a good foot in the door for this title.
We saw both sides of Keith Senior. I mean, he lays a lot on the plate for you, doesn't he, as well? But he's still very committed.
Yeah. Whatever it is he is an outstanding human being for what he can do. It's brilliant playing outside him, like I say. I've said a million times, like he's put it on the platter for me. I had to do some finishing today, but yeah, I'm very grateful for Keith.
With the playoffs to come, obviously, how significant do you think that result is?
It's a massive confidence boost, and it's a bit of a mental factor as well. Like, they're going to have that in their mind. They didn't play badly, and they want to walk over by any means, but it was a great mental advantage to take into playoffs.
Well done tonight. Man of the match, champagne, £100 for a charity of your choice as well. Where's that going to go, right?
That'll be going to the Candlelighters at St James's.
Well done.
Thanks.
Outstanding entertainment. Everything it had. I don't think he shook a hand. I don't think James Graham wanted to shake a hand, which is a bit unusual in rugby league, but he was furious. Started off badly for him, of course. Meanwhile, Wilkin and Keith Senior, well, they just about shook hands, and well, see you next time. Oh, I'll tell you what, when these two meet again, it will be the hottest ticket in town. Leeds Rhinos 18, St Helens 10, and because of their superior points difference, that looks like the Leeds League Leaders' Shield is coming to Headingley for only the second time in Super League. But Steve-o, what a game.
Oh yes, it was classic, wasn't it? The first half was wonderful. Second half, there was guts, determination, keeping the ball alive. Inside pass here from Eastman was superb. You could see Bailey just couldn't get it, fill the gap. Flannery over then. And then we had Long kicking out in the full. That was a vital
turnaround for Leeds, and Laotici, the lucky, good play there by the referee. Not many opportunities there for the little halfback. He played it quickly, and when they got the ball out wide, he finished well. Fully deserved man of the match.
Yes, Ryan Hall, sensational. And Leeds with a 2-point gap, and just look at the points difference that is very much in their favour. So it's virtually a 3-point advantage they've got at the top of the table. Leeds Rhinos look like they're going to take home the League Leaders' Shield. And that means that all this means that next Friday, this is where we will be. And I haven't a clue yet. Salford against Leeds. We'll take a look at Salford against Leeds next Friday night at the Willows. It's live on Sky Sports 2 and HD2. That's hot off the press. That decision has just been made. A pity it's not St Helens against Leeds, isn't it? Because what a game we've seen here tonight. I mean, that was rugby league in the raw, Tony.
Sure was, yeah. There was a lot of passion. There was a lot at stake, wasn't there? You know, and both teams, they turned it on. They turned on a great performance. They both threw a lot at each other, you know, in terms of rugby league, and even, you know, in terms of tempers there at the end. You know, there was a lot of emotion riding there, and that's what you get. And, you know, well deserved, I thought, tonight, Leeds. I thought, you know, they just controlled it a little better than Saints. That was a crucial error at one stage there from Sean Long. But then he did bounce back with a big play to kick it into touch to give him a chance to get back into the game. But, yeah, you know, it's mouth-watering for the finals, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it just? And we might well see, in fact, it's almost certain we will see Leeds and St Helens somewhere along the track. Steve-O doesn't pay for much. But I think he would actually dig deep into your own pocket, wouldn't you, to pay to come and see the rematch.
My word, I'll probably have to borrow money from you, Eddie, to do it in the first. Look, I agree with all what you said, you guys. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. You know, when you retire from rugby league, there is some times when you say, oh, I'm glad I'm not playing. But, you know, I really would have loved to have been out there today, because there was a lot of old-fashioned stuff, there was a lot of skill, a lot of factor, but there was a lot of aggression, venom, and that's what it's all about. I like to see it running through the veins. I was so excited. Sometimes I don't get excited, but tonight, very much.
I wonder how long you would have lasted had you been out there, because I think the fun might have started a bit sooner than later, don't you?
I would have loved to have seen it too, just for the laugh value, comedy value. But no, fantastic stuff. Both teams turned on a great show, and you know we should enjoy it. I think at the end there, you know, it's great to see the two guys who had an altercation shake hands. They sorted out. It's all forgotten about, you know, and that's how it should be. And you play your sport to the hardest, and then you shake hands and be friends at the end of it.
Absolutely. I hope that James Graham feels exactly the same, but his face was like thunder at the end, wasn't it? Look, we're going to pick over the bones of this all again in Super League Extra Time, which follows, but there's boxing tonight live, which is next on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. That's John Simpson against Paul Truscott. And the US Open tennis continues from Flushing Meadows on Sky Sports 2 right now. But stay with us, because as I say, we have Super League Extra Time coming. We might have a chance to look ahead to this. Hull KR against Warrington, which is the game that we've got for you Saturday at 5:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1 again. Tremendous stuff. Great game. It's what Super League is all about. And, well, we have enjoyed it, but we've not had a glove laid on us. We'll see you for Extra Time in a minute.
Gilmore